everybody. Welcome back to Hearing Things with Julie and Brad. And today we're going to talk about things that kids say. We've already done an episode where Julie's class asked us questions, and I wanted to take this to a more general approach. Instead of specific questions, we wanted to talk about what it's like hearing children's voices. And so this is going to be mostly Julie because she works with them. And so all yours.
So before I say anything, this is, again, as always, based on our individual experiences with individual children. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's interactions are different. And even with kids that you know well, your interactions change within the minute sometimes, as I've learned from teaching for almost for over 30 years at this point. So the biggest thing I want to point out, kids' voices are tough to hear. There's not really in predictable ranges like adult voices. They're not as clear more often than not. Some of them are losing their teeth, so their articulation is not super clear.
Oh, yeah.
It's, you've got your family speech patterns that kids listen and kind of inherit. So the prosody can change from child to child. Their volume is sometimes either too loud or too soft. They're all working on voice modulation.
Yeah.
No matter what kid you're talking to, those are pretty much the constants that you're going to bump into.
Yeah.
The advantage I have is that the kids that I interact with on a daily basis, I'm with them from September to June. So I know them really, really well. And I get to learn their voices in September, and that stays with me throughout the school year. So it's not a new child interaction every single day.
How long does it take you to get to learn their voices?
Month.
A month?
A good month. And I also do a lot of upfront work, as I've talked about before on the show, with the kids from the first day of school. We talk about hearing aids. We talk about Mrs. Lane's hearing history.
That's awesome.
We make a list of all the accommodations we can do to help her in the classroom, help her being me. So it's a very interactive, involved process, which I think is important.
Yeah.
If you are deaf or hard of hearing and have children that are regularly in your life, I think those are really important conversations to have. In terms of hearing them organically, if I'm out, if I'm seeing friends whose kids I haven't seen in a while, or when I used to work in the children's room at the library years ago, self-advocacy comes into play. Self-advocacy and disclosure is not optional. I'm sorry. I know this is an unpopular opinion.
Not in this case, yeah.
You have to set it up to be a successful interaction because it's not fair to yourself and especially not fair to that kid who's interacting with an adult that they may not know well. They're excited to see you most of the time. Their words are important. Their words deserve to be heard. They deserve your attention, and you deserve to have that interaction with them also. And you're also modeling for them what it looks like to interact with someone with a disability. There's a big responsibility that comes with this. And I'm sorry, you have to self-disclose and you have to put yourself at the front of the conversation because it's just not fair for this to not be an effective interaction.
Yeah, either person. That's what, conversations take two people. I think it's in Here and Beyond, I first learned that it takes two people to have a conversation.
Right.
And it actually self-disclosing and advocating for your needs is actually going to make it a better interaction for both people, right? I mean, if you're going to bluff through it, the person's just going to get frustrated. And when it's a kid, does the kid have the emotional intelligence to understand what's going on? God, no. So it's really fascinating because I have one of the accommodations I have at work is I'm not asked to work upstairs in the children's room because of this. A lot of it is Julie has a month to learn somebody's voices. If I'm up there, I'm going to see this kid for 30 seconds, a minute.
Right.
That's too short a time for me to acclimate to the voice. And then in addition to just the voices of the children, it's so loud up there. If you think libraries are quiet, go to any library and go to the children's room, and you will find that you are mistaken. It is no longer the case. So it's so loud. So I appreciate being able to have that exception because I'm not going to help the kid even if I disclose, which I admit is something that I need to be better at. I don't have as much experience as Julie does, and this show is helping me do it more often, but I still struggle with it. And most of these times, these interactions with kids are so brief that it takes longer to self-disclose than it does to answer their question. And so I just have the exception. It's just better customer service for me not to be up there. I'll cover downstairs where the adult collection is, and I'll have somebody else go upstairs. That's what I'll do. It's just the better way for doing it because it's just I struggle with kids. I struggle with kids that I know because of all the things that Julie was talking about. And I didn't think about the whole teeth thing. But yeah, that's their voices change when they don't have all their teeth, and their voices change over time too, right? I remember being a pubescent boy. My voice was all over the place, and that's not going to be easy either. It's just something that I don't think a lot of people do think about.
You don't. And getting back to the kid perspective of this, right? Think about it. You're super excited. You're seeing an adult who's going to give you attention, even if it's for a fraction of a second. Yeah. And they are dying to tell you about their new Spider-Man toy, just for sake of argument.
Sure.
Right? And they're dying to tell you about this.
Yeah.
And you're listening, and you're hoping to God you're getting it right. But kids, unlike adults, are relentless. But did you know about blah, blah, blah? And they're going to wait for a response. Yeah. And if you're not participating in this conversation, they're going to think, I'm not important to you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why aren't you listening to me?
Right.
Did I do something wrong? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you answering me? There's an emotional component here that I think as adults we need to pay a little bit more attention to.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
right?
point.
Or it goes the other way. The kid escalates. It keeps asking you the same question over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're trying to guess at what it is they're trying to say related to Spider-Man so you can participate. Then that becomes frustrating for the child too. And you still haven't done your job at disclosing your disability and saying, okay, hold on a second. It sounds like you're trying to tell me something really important right now. Can you say it a different way?
There we go.
Can you draw it for me?
Oh, interesting.
Can you point to something that's going to help me understand you?
Yeah.
Those are some strategies to use
as
a deaf and hard of hearing adult working with kids, talking with children, even socially.
So try to mirror back what the request was.
And so, I don't know a lot about Spider-Man. I think you're asking me about his evil twin. I don't know. I know nothing about Spider-Man.
He did have a clone.
Does he have?
He had a clone.
Okay,
it was a big thing.
About XYZ. Is that what you're telling me? Or can you teach me a little more about Spider-Man so I can understand what you're trying to share?
And then it puts the agency back on the kid, and the kid is teaching an adult something, and so that's great.
And again, it's always about modeling. You're modeling for the kids. Okay, here's how to problem solve in a conversation. Here are things I can do if somebody doesn't understand me. Oh, there's something that the adult did that maybe I can do if I don't understand what someone is telling me.
That's great.
About something I don't know a lot about. It's very, very involved, and there's more layers to it than just hearing what a child is saying.
Right. Advocacy is tough. It's
tough.
It's tough, but that's great.
It's tough. You've got to tell them. You have to say, look at me, slow down. You know what? It's better if you're on this side because this is a better ear. Not anymore. They're both awful. But, and just say, here's how we're going to do this. You just have to teach them how to communicate with you.
That's awesome. You do this outside of school as well?
Always.
Excellent.
Any child I have an interaction with, it's a whole little mini lesson on here's the best way to talk to each other.
Do you go right up front?
Right up front.
So, before they ask a question?
Yeah, before they even say anything. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Julie. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Lane, or whatever role I'm in. Or if it's a friend's child who I haven't seen in a while, who I've known since they were born, I'll say, oh, hey, good to see you, bud. Remember last time we talked about this? Yep, okay, great. What's
great.
New?
I envy that. I want to get where you are. I can't automatically advocate. And I think that I'm getting better because of you. So thank you so much. And this show, right? It keeps it on my mind. Right. And I think this is something that's so valuable because we come at this different ways, and so there's no judgment here. Well, I do judge myself sometimes. I'm my own worst critic, but being
I judge you too. You just
fair enough. I mean, you should. But I think that having these conversations, putting the awareness out there, so that next time you talk to a kid, think about it. Think about having hearing loss and having that conversation, and think about how challenging it is. And we don't want to pity us. It's just making people aware of the challenges we face every day.
Here's the next layer that comes with kids. When you do disclose, or even if you don't disclose and they just notice your hearing aids or cochlear implant or something, they're going to 9 times out of 10, they're just going to flat out ask.
Yeah.
Right? And my favorite, the one I get most often, what are those things in your ears? They have no tact, no clue, nothing.
That's great.
They're just going for it.
That's
and I
awesome.
say, that's a great question.
Yeah.
And I always ask them, I go, what do you think they are?
Oh, interesting. What kind of... Oh, you must have gotten some weird answers.
Sometimes. Like, I don't know. The earplugs. You going swimming? I'm like, no.
Going swimming? It's January.
I said, but it's like what earplugs feel like if you go swimming. Or do you ever worn earbuds? It's kind of what they feel like. Why do you think I need these? On and on. Engage them. Okay? The kids are not going to judge you the way adults are.
Very true.
And I think you've got to get past that. Get over yourself. Whatever's wrong with you. And just self-disclose and engage with the kids.
Yeah.
So dealing with kids is going to be very different. Encourage them to ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've had situations where parents are like, oh, you can't ask that. I'm like, yes, they can.
Yeah. But
yes, they can. They should.
That's the stigma, right? That's the stigma with hearing loss.
Yes. You know, I mean, kids are curious. And I always use the same language with them of, my body works differently than yours. Here's what I need to help my body work. Done.
Excellent.
That's it. We're not making a huge production out of it. The other tip I would give you with kids when they ask you about your hearing loss in a very blunt manner, give them just enough of a response that they're satisfied with it.
Mm-hmm.
No need to over-explain. And I think as adults, we tend to get into this place of like, well, I have a part of my body in my ear called the cochlea. Like you have a cochlea, and it looks like a little snail shell. And on the cochlea, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, lady, whatever. You just go with the simpler answer of, these are hearing aids. They help my ears work like yours. It's like turning up the volume on the TV. It makes the world louder. It's done. Over. Over.
They don't, Give
them enough to satisfy their curiosity and move on.
Right. They don't have no attention span to learn about the cochlea.
Care. They don't get it. Here's the other thing. With kids, and I think this is key. I do this all the time. As things arise, 99% of the time it's not intentional. They think they're being funny. Well, they will do things like, can you hear me if I do this?
Interesting, yeah.
Then we have to pause and have a conversation and say, well, no. But how is that making Mrs. Lane feel?
Interesting.
When you do that, is that respectful? Mm-hmm. Was that kind? I know you were trying to be funny, but is that the kind of funny we should be using? Make it a teachable moment. Don't embarrass them. They don't know. They're learning.
They're not going to, they won't learn if they're embarrassed.
Or if I have had kids in the past, again, intention versus impact, right? They'll be like, hey, Mrs. Lane, I know sign language. I'm like, do ya? Do ya? Let's talk about what sign language is and what it isn't. Yeah. We talk about how it's a real language and it's how people use their words instead of speaking. And it's a very important hand signal system that is an actual language. And we look at, we talk about it. We explore it a little bit. And how this is, again, maybe trying to be funny, but it's not the type of funny we should be being right now or using in that way. Again, enough information to satisfy the curiosity. Right. Don't shame them. Make it a teachable moment. You're going to run into this the more you interact with kids in whatever situation. It's just patterns I've seen over the years.
This is great stuff. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I didn't think about a lot of this stuff because
You never had to.
Right. I don't have to, and I know that it's a different situation for me in my work environment where there's a teachable moment, but like it doesn't matter. They're not going to learn. They're not in the headspace to learn. Right. And so like just taking me out of the equation, sometimes that's the answer. Because it's just not, you have to know the situation. You have to know the person, know the situation.
But let's say you were at my house and my little nieces and nephews were over, the little ones. What are you going to do? Just stare at them and smile, or are you going to have the conversation? I mean, them, the mini versions of me that's going to come right out with it. Like, what's the matter with you?
Right. I don't know. Because like advocacy is new for me.
Right.
And so I think that I would like to think that I would want to have the respect and have a conversation with them to make them understand my challenges, which is different than Julie's challenges. So I don't know. I would hope to think that I wouldn't bluff my way through, but I'll be honest, I might just kind of nod and smile, which is not the right decision.
I mean, the DiMatteo kids are good ones to practice with because we're all very blunt.
This is very true.
So we'll set something up. Next time they come to visit, we'll set up a little thing for you to practice.
That's great.
So that's all I have about kids. I'm curious to see what viewers at home, sound like I'm on Channel 2, support from viewers like you. Viewers at home, what your thoughts are on what I shared, especially if you are a parent, if you are an educator, if you work with kids in any capacity. What do you think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? I don't know.
Please let us know.
What else would you add?
If she didn't mention something that you do, let us know. Share. We want this to be a conversation.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. There we go. So, like I said, thank you for sharing. Great stuff. Things I wouldn't think about because I don't have the opportunity to. Yeah.
Like when you were talking to me about VPN, blah, blah, noodles, something, technology. I don't know what you were talking about.
VPNs.
I was like, oh, okay. Yep, great. Terrific.
I saw that glazed look in her eye, and I moved on.
I am not asking follow-up questions, but whatever.
All right, so let's go into something that she does understand.
I do.
Books. What do you got?
I have. Of course, I forgot the title already. Hold on.
Oh, Baldwin?
I know. Hold on a minute. Here we go. I want to make sure I get it right. It's called Baldwin, A Love Story. Not about the BC Eagle Baldwin, by the way, people, because everybody's first assumption to be like, who was writing fan fiction romance about the Boston College mascot? But actually, that's actually probably not the worst idea.
I'm sure it's out there.
Coming soon. All right. Anyway, Baldwin, a love story by Nicholas Boggs. It's a biography written recently in 2025 that explores the personal life and somewhat the professional life of the author James Baldwin, who is just a phenomenal author. He wrote so many things. If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, such a good one.
I had no idea that was his book.
Oh, really?
And I'm reading it, and I'm loving it, and all of a sudden I realized who wrote it, and I was like, what? What? Are you kidding? This is crazy. He's amazing. And The Fire Next Time is one of the most powerful books I think I've ever read. It's
so good.
My copy has got highlights all over the place.
Same.
It's really interesting backstory because he was a black man author who was also gay at a time when none of that was acceptable. This is pre-civil rights, right?
None of it.
My issue with the book, a couple of issues with it. So far, it's good. All right, and it's telling, not showing. So I just feel like this author is kind of listing off events and people and things. I think it could be written a little bit stronger to be a little more of a engaging read. It's just the style of this biography. I'm learning a lot because I don't know a lot about him, but here's where I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
He's talking about his pivotal relationships with men. James Baldwin is long gone. He's not here to give us permission for this. So this is a biographer and researcher that's investigating his life after the fact.
Right.
How much of this was already public knowledge? How much of this was stuff that Baldwin shared during his lifetime, either in personal things or in his own writing? And do we have the right to peek behind the curtain on some of these relationships from other primary or secondary sources, letters, things of that nature? Especially considering that he was a gay man during the time where it was not acceptable to be out. And, I mean, he went through a lot of terrible things. And a black man at that period of history, I mean, none of those things are easy right now either. I'm not diminishing any of this. I'm just talking from a historical standpoint. I don't know.
It's fascinating.
Is it okay for us to take such a deep personal look at his personal life? I'm struggling a little bit. I don't know.
I think it is. I think that you have to take it with a grain of salt. I think that you have to. You want to know more about him because you love his writing. You respect the man, and so you want to know what made the man who he was and the challenges.
And it is drawing in references to his work. So, like, who inspired characters in Giovanni's Room and stuff like that. So it is tying it back to his work to a point. But there is that little bit of me that's like, yeah, is this okay? I don't know if this is okay.
So I think that I read a biography. I was trying to find the biography I read of him years ago. It was like The Open Table, The Dinner Table, or something like that. And it traced his life. So it wasn't just his romances. It was his entire life. And he was a fascinating man, troubled, tortured soul, because he was not. We think we are living in a world not designed for us, but he really was living in a world not actively trying to kill him, essentially. And so it's a fascinating read. I think that the love story thing kind of I can see how it would feel a little invasive, but I think that. I think that it's valuable knowing more about him to respect him more. And so I think that you don't have to love it, but learn. I don't think learning more is ever a bad thing. It can change your view on somebody or some situation. But
yes.
Would you want to walk around with ignorance otherwise?
I just don't know how much of this is necessary.
Sure.
And how much of it... I guess my issue is he's not here to give permission.
Did the author have any insight into family members or people in his life?
Not really. It's kind of all reading very...
Interesting. Yeah. So let's touch
on...
Well,
this was Julie, and she's sitting at a table, and she has brown hair, wearing a maroon sweater, and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I want you to read it.
Oh, I will. I'll get there.
Get your perspective on it. But anyway...
Yeah. So
this has just evolved into an NPR show here about book reviews. I'll stop talking. This just went right off the rails. What do you got?
I have The Oldest Student by
fun.
Rita Lorrain Hubbard. And so it is the story of Mary Walker. And you're not going to be able to read that back? No. Anyway, It's a children's book. And it's the story of Mary Walker She learned to read at 114 years old.
Stop it. Is it a picture book?
It is a picture book.
Ordering it right now for my classroom. No way.
I loved it. It was so heartwarming.
My kids who are struggling to read will love this.
So it was in like the 60s or so. So like I believe she was born into slavery or right after the Civil War.
Get out.
Because she died at like 120 in like the 1970s. And so back then the records for people of color, apparently our stuff does relate again, wasn't always kept accurately, if at all. But like, there's been plenty of stories about this woman, and it was fantastic. Like, imagine having the energy and the power to decide after living for more than 100 years that, you know what, I would like to learn to read, and do it. Heartwarming story. Such a great story. And as with so many children's books, it really approaches a really serious topic.
That's fantastic.
Very well. Very distills the information, gives people the information without being overly saccharine or lectury. It was great. So The Oldest Student by what's her name? Rita Lorrain Hubbard. We'll post the links. But yeah.
I literally just bought it for my classroom, just sitting here. I've never even looked at this thing. I think of my students who are struggling to read and spell now at the ages that they are, 8, 9, 10. What an inspirational story that will be for them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Great.
Cool.
All right, guys. That's all we got. We'll see you next week.
We hope you enjoyed hearing things with Julie and Brad and NPR book review, apparently, which we did today at the same time. All right, we'll be back.
Bye, guys.